yeah, spent like so long adjusting the camera and so long trying to find a position which looks good. But well, in the end, it's just me again on my bedroom floor, and it's almost beginning of April. It's almost beginning of April, which feels like beginning of spring, even though the spring is already springing for 1 month. And also, I'm like this time with my naked arms, which for me is an insecurity or used to be an insecurity. Now, not anymore. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, I'm happy to see you. I'm saying like addressing myself almost, but it's true. I'm happy to see you, the two people who actually watch this. So yeah, I also kind of realized that I never did any introduction to the channel or anything, but yes, I'm still called Xenia. I'm still a writer, still on my bathroom floor and on my bedroom floor, and it's still spring here. And yeah, I don't have flowers, and as one in the previous videos, but I might buy myself some. So yeah, and it's sunlight, and it's Sunday, and it's so good, and life is good, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I've seen quite a few videos about it recently, and I've been thinking about it as well, about this weird in between space. I might have already talked about it, but maybe not under that angle. But sometimes it feels like there's just this space in between what you were doing and what you're about to do, or where you came from and where you're going, who you were and who you're about to be. If that makes sense. You're not you're quite you're not quite you're not quite there in the past, but you're not quite in the future neither. So, you know. For me, like in terms of writing, what's happening as of right now is that I have finished my first draft for like my English language. Well, it's not a novel, but it's a nonfiction book about dating and a bit about relationships. And I have to now, because I have written it in by hand, I have to retype it into my computer now. And generally, I've already spent some time looking for researching the querying process, the agents, the way it works, the query tracker. I might actually, like closer to the moment where I hopefully begin the whole process, might actually film something else about it. But in terms of writing, what's happening is that I have to retype it in a Word document or a Google Doc, and after that I have to edit it, and after that I have to reread it again. And after that, I have to see whether it's good or not, actually. I have to somehow reckon with what I've written now. And in sync with that, I have like a second manuscript which I have to also translate and adapt to English. And I've been psyching myself up to do that, but yeah, I can feel like basically, as of right now, my body and my mind are somewhat in slow mo. And to be honest, they've been in slow mo for a while, to the point where I'm almost anxious. Why have they been in slow mo that much? What I mean is, I have had quite a few. I feel like I'm jumping from topic to topic, but yeah, it's always with those videos, it's always like this because I was planning originally to talk about this in between moment, but I feel like the slow motionness of it all is related. So sometimes when you've had an intense period of working on something and writing and inventing and like putting it on the page, your brain slows down and it's a bit like I don't know what the term is, but a bit like slowing down of the car, where the car has to go a certain distance before stopping. And I feel like my brain has to go a certain distance before stopping. And yeah, it's it's unnerving because I do have all this stuff that I haven't finished yet. All that stuff that I haven't done, all these documents that I haven't gathered, all those admin stuff, all those small tasks that I haven't done. And they keep like pressing on me, and I keep pushing them away because my brain is just not in a state where I can, you know, like sometimes you begin doing something and you're like a bit in a void. You don't have a coherent thought in your brain. And some might say like it might be drugs, but I don't take drugs. Or it might be like something related to the cycle, but I just feel like it's related to the natural human cycle where we can't be alert and focused and productive all the time. And sometimes there is the time to fill the day with nothing, and just to do nothing and to think about nothing in particular, and just to just let yourself be in the in between space. Because unfortunately this intensity that I had in the beginning of the year, and this intensity with which I was working, and this intensity cannot be maintained all the time. Like I wish I could. I wish I could, but yeah. For the moment I'm trying to forgive myself. I haven't forgiven myself for all the stuff I haven't done at this point in time. I haven't forgiven myself for stalling on some topics. I haven't forgiven myself for being slow, because I don't have a reputation for the type of person who doesn't get things done. I actually do have a reputation of a person who gets things done, who does things, who asks questions, who is productive, who is aware, who is very proactive, who is on it. And I don't feel like I'm on it. I don't feel like I'm on it at all. I'm off it. At the moment, I'm simply off it. I'm off it. You know, it's this weird thing where you wanted to walk away from something, from the past version of yourself, and then you walked and you walked and you walked, and at a certain point, you walked so far that you really changed. And your brain really changed, and your body really changed, and your like skin, whatever, your condition really changed. And I mean not only like physical but mental, like human condition, you really changed. And you're so far away from the your past self that you start to freak out, you know. You start to to think that this is abnormal, because you used to be so different. You used to be so different. Like you used to be a different person, literally. And at some point you you walked so far away from that past self that you that you're like, but I can't find her anymore. She's not here anymore. Like someone else is here now. I'm not even sure if someone is getting what I mean here, but you like, because in the beginning you feel like the changes are small, or you almost feel like nothing is happening. You're just walking from your past self day by day, step by step, and you are walking, you're walking, you're walking and walking and walking, and nothing is really happening. You just, you do the work, and you walk, you do the work, and you like have the same people, have the same job, the same apartment, same friends, same everything. And you walk and you walk and you walk and you walk, and then there is a moment where you're like, I'm really different. And it's so freakish. I i don't think the way I used to, I don't feel the way I used to. I don't believe in the stuff I used to believe. My brain doesn't work as it used to. I don't get anxious like I used to. It somehow my chemistry has changed and I am not as agitated. I don't react the same way to stuff. I I don't worry about the same shit. Like with some people I used to relate to, I can't even relate to it anymore. Some content that I used to love, I can't even watch it anymore. Like my nervous system and my, like, I don't know, whatever inside of me leveled up or like changed so much that I'm not even, I'm really different. And there is still a part of me that wonders whether, I don't know, whether I should go back to what was before. And also there's a part of me who wonders whether when you change that much, if I change anymore, which I will, hopefully. But like, if you change even more, like, does it mean that your life that you had in as your past self, it will crash down? You know, doesn't mean that what's behind you or what you used to be will just crash. I'm thinking of that one example, which I again saw in one video where a woman wanted her own business and she started working on that idea and started to mentally tune herself into that potential, tune into that idea, and preparing for it, and mentally living there. And she got and she got the sack. She got sacked. She lost her job, and she had a good job, and she panicked because she lost what she used to have. But then the coach, who was working with her, told her, "But you wanted something different." You sent out the signal that you want something different, but you wanted to be a different person, didn't you? You wanted a different path, so when you start walking it, the other path disappeared. What are you surprised at? And now I'm a bit freaking out that my old path simply will disappear, that I will just lose everything. Everything that used to be identified with the old version of me. Everything that I used to be. My old self. And it's scary, to be honest, because you don't want to jump into the void. I don't think I've ever talked about it, but when you already have some foundation, or like I said in the very first video, some kind of box, you don't want to be homeless either. Meaning, like, you don't want to have nothing. You see what I mean? You don't want to have like no walls and no food and no money and no anything. You don't want to be on the street. Like, okay, it's not on the street, but you don't want to lose everything when you become someone new. You want to have a foundation to build on. You want to, like, if you're jumping, you and you're in the air, and I feel like I'm in the air, and I will be in the air for like at least, yeah, quite a long time. When you're jumping and you're in the air, you don't want to be like your the place you jumped from. You don't want it to burn because you still haven't reached the new place, and your old one is already burning. If you ever had in life that moment where you're undergoing through change and you feel like it's all crumbling, like you're so different that you can't even sustain your old stuff anymore. And unfortunately, I've been feeling like I've changed so much that I have a hard time maintaining my old my old self. I have a hard time being her. Like, I feel like sometimes I still have to, like, it feels almost like putting on clothes I've grown out of, almost like, I don't know, living in a house which is, or in a room which is like for a teenager when I'm a grown woman, you know, like, or putting someone else's shoes on, which are two sizes too small, and walking in them all day. Like, sometimes it feels like my old me is so, like, I have more and more and more trouble keeping her, like being her. And I feel like it's starting to show, and I feel like I might lose my old life. I'm saying it like I know what I'm talking about, but I go off the feeling, you know. I go off the feeling. And I can't even say right now to you the new life is near, the new life is better. I don't know. I'm still in the air between the two, the old and the new. But I feel like the old one is getting farther and farther away from me. Or maybe I will reinvent it, or it will reinvent itself around me. I don't know. But the old one is getting farther and farther away. It's getting more and more irrelevant. And it's hard because change is hard for that reason, I feel like. It's not the change. I mean, the changing is hard, yes, but the uncertainty is hard. This mental thing where you kept clinging to that old bank, to that old river bank, to that old reality. You kept grabbing onto it. You like, if I wanted another metaphor, I would have said it. You were like holding to it, and you like your grip. My grip is becoming less and less and less and less, and it's getting farther and farther and farther away. But you're still holding on to your old self because you don't know what the new one is, and but because you're holding to what you know, to what you are accustomed to, and who can blame you for that?